Sheldon, do you have an update on Dougie Hamilton?
I do not. Still being evaluated.
And just the loss of Jack and the loss of Dougie, the loss of Siegenthaler as well. A lot of people are going to have to step up. With this roster, we talked with a lot of players about they just want to come together as a team. What do you need to see from your group to be able to overcome different players on the ice so it doesn't even look like players are out of the lineup?
Yeah, we've been through it, right? I mean, we played with Nico for a while. We played without Markey. As you mentioned, we've been playing without Siegs. And our game the other night, to me, is an indication that we can compete with anybody. The guys do have to step up. We do have to play better and smarter as a team. But we keep charging ahead, and we've got good players, and we've got a good group that is going to fight. That's the one thing I learned the other night. We're gonna still compete, and we got other guys that are hungry to step up.
Although Timo wasn't on the score sheet for a stretch of the season, he was still doing a lot of things that were really good. And now that he's getting some more power play time at an elevated role, how can that even increase that production as well?
Well, yeah, he's going to get more touches. He's going to be counted on more and get more minutes that way. And the good thing is his game, even before Jack going out, was trending in the right direction. He had played some really good hockey on that road trip, and you could see him really starting to come on. So that's very positive for us. So he's a good example of a guy that certainly has more and is hungry to step up a little bit more in that role and take on those responsibilities. And already the puck started to fall for him a little bit more, so that's really positive. We need that from a few other guys, and doing that while our team game tightens up even more gives us a chance every night.
Hamilton's still being evaluated, but he's out tomorrow, correct?
He's out tomorrow, correct,
right.
Yeah.
And knowing, you're out Dougie, you're out Siegs, now Jack, does the scheme or strategy change at all, the way you need to play, or how do you view that?
I wouldn't say it's different. It just needs to be tighter. It needs to be more consistent. I don't think you'd really alter your strategy, especially with us being a team that has struggled to score. If we get too conservative or too defensive minded, it's going to become even more of a challenge. We've done a really good job as a team of keeping the puck out of our net, and that has to continue. In fact, get even better. As last game is an example, we got to 3, we scored 3. We should win that game. So keeping it out has been pretty consistent, whether it's been through our play or the combination with that and our goaltending. But I think we just we have to recognize that it's going to be harder. You got to earn more offense. I mean, Jack's such a facilitator and a creator of offense. We're going to have to go about it a little differently in terms of earning the offense, forecheck pressure, puck pressure, tips, rebounds, those kind of things. But in terms of our strategy or anything like that, I don't see that changing. I don't see a need for it to change. As we saw the other night, we generated quite a bit through forecheck pressure, skating, and effort. And I thought we had a good game in that sense. We just gave up too many goals.
As tough a situation as this is, can this sometimes galvanize a group too, Sheldon?
Yeah, certainly, and that is what I saw the other night, which is why it's so disappointing and frankly just dejecting that we lost in the manner that we did after fighting our way back. And I mean, you can just imagine the vibes coming out of that game had we won that game, or even just getting a point out of it. So you leave dejected, yet I leave inspired by the effort that our guys put forth in that game, and just showed that, in Jack's absence and the news and the knowledge that he wasn't going to be with us again this season, at the end of a long road trip, our guys didn't fold, didn't go away throughout that game, and then even in the third period especially. Now you're down, guys don't fold and go away. They fight right to the end. So I left inspired and proud of our group in that way, but knowing that we've got to play a smarter game to manage it better.
Sean, following up on that, speaking of the dejection that the guys were feeling efforts. Is that something that you had to address with what you were saying here about how inspired you were with the way they played the last couple of days, or do you assume over a couple of days that these are professionals and they kind of get over it amongst them?
Well, I mean, I felt it enough that I went in and speak to the team after the game, which I rarely or never do after a loss. But I just felt I needed to go and speak to the team in that moment because I felt that we were dejected. Also, felt disappointed how we managed the game in that last 30 seconds or so. And some other moments throughout the game, and acknowledging that that's the difference between winning and losing, but it doesn't take away from the effort and the fight and the care that our group had. I mean, you just watch the reaction to it when we tied the game, see how invested our guys in. That's, as I say, inspiring for me, and I think for our whole group, and just hopefully for our fan base. Just shows that our guys are in this and going to continue to fight and continue to grow our game right to the very end.
What can you tell us about two-time Stanley Cup champ Brian Dumoulin?
I think he's obviously a veteran defenseman. You mentioned his experience with winning, and he's I think a reliable and consistent defender. He's got size and length, but also skates well and can move a puck well. I had been kind of digging in on him and watching him myself a little bit closer, just to really watch his game over the last few weeks, because Fitz has been working it for a while. So pretty comfortable thinking that he's gonna help our depth and give us another left-hand shot, which I think is really important at this particular time. So we're happy to be able to get that done.
Talking to Dawson today, kind of echoing the fact that across the board, just needing to score more goals, he said that was something they worked on in practice, and I asked him what are those keys that he's working on. He said just taking more high probability shots, whether it's shooting off the pads, low block, or to create rebounds if they don't go in. As a coach, are those things that you're kind of feeding into your forward group, or is it also just another fact that they just need to keep shooting and creating those chances?
No, we've been pretty deliberate about talking about it, showing video, just because chance generation hasn't necessarily been an issue for our team. Even lower in our lineup, we've had some looks. It's been more about the execution, the finish of our shots. So we've been deliberate about talking about that. We're not just kind of throwing our hands up and saying, eventually these got to go in. It's, we're working with our guys. We got them some extra touches here today. We kind of split the practice up and had 2 sessions today to give some guys more shots and more touches than they would get in a typical practice. So we're doing our best to try to help the guys. Like I said, I think we've done a pretty good job for the most part of getting the chances that we need to get to 3 goals. We just haven't been able to finish with enough regularity.
When are you expecting Brian to join the team?
They're working on that here now. It's obviously, it's a long ways away. I believe they're in Vancouver, or at least they were in Vancouver last night, and I think they're out that way. So they're working on it. They're doing the best. We're doing our best at this point to try to get him here to be available tomorrow.
And playoffs are still the main team goal here to reach playoffs.
Oh, without question. I mean, we're in a playoff position, and we expect to be in one when this is all said and done. We got some work ahead of us here, and the league is as tight as it's ever been. We gotta keep growing as a team and growing our game as we've evolved here now with Jack being out and some of the injuries that we're facing. So we're growing and evolving as a group, but the goal doesn't change, and that's again why I left inspired the other night, because the players made it very clear that they all want to be part of the solution to make sure that we keep just growing as a team and not take a step back.
And how's Siegenthaler doing?
He's getting better, but we still don't have a timeline exactly on what his situation is.
Thanks, Sheldon.
Yeah.
Thank you.